At night, when the room finally goes quiet, your mind does something strange. The day is over, the phone is down, the lights are low, and yet your thoughts suddenly become louder than they were all day. You replay a conversation from this morning, a message you didn't send, a tone in someone's voice that you can't stop analyzing, a future problem that hasn't even happened yet. Your body is lying still, but your mind is running. If you overthink at night, you are not weak, you are not dramatic, and you are definitely not broken. There's a very specific reason your mind waits for the dark to speak. Most people think overthinking means you have a noisy brain, but that's not what's actually happening. It means your mind finally feels safe enough to surface what it protected you from all day. During the day, your attention is constantly occupied. Tasks, conversations, screens, movement, responsibility. Your mind stays busy on purpose. Not because you are productive, but because distraction is a form of emotional survival. At night, when external demands disappear, the mind loses its biggest shield, and what remains is unprocessed experience. This is the first quiet truth about nighttime overthinking. Your mind does not create new worries at night. It releases the ones it postponed. All day long, your nervous system filters information. Not everything gets emotional access. Small disappointments, micro-rejections, moments you didn't feel understood, situations where you stayed silent instead of honest. Your mind stores them quietly, not to hurt you, to protect your functioning. Because during the day, you need to keep moving. But at night, movement is no longer required. So the mind switches roles, from performance to processing. This is why your thoughts often feel emotionally heavier at night than they did when the event actually happened. You're not overreacting. You are finally feeling what you postponed. The second reason nighttime overthinking becomes so intense is because your brain loses external orientation. During the day, your senses anchor you: light, noise, people, motion. At night, that sensory grounding fades. When the external world becomes still, your attention automatically turns inward. The mind is not meant to sit in silence for long. Silence removes feedback, and without feedback, the brain starts scanning. It searches for unresolved signals, unanswered questions, emotional uncertainty, social ambiguity. Your brain evolved to detect threat through social meaning, not just physical danger. So instead of asking, "Am I safe?" it asks, "Am I accepted? Did I do something wrong? Did I say too much? Did I say too little?" Nighttime creates the perfect environment for social memory loops because nothing interrupts them. Your mind is not looking for pain. It is looking for certainty. The third layer is deeper and much quieter. Many people who overthink at night learned early that emotional awareness was safer than emotional expression. You learned to notice shifts in people's moods, to read silence, to predict reactions, to sense disappointment before it was spoken. That skill helped you adapt, but that same skill turns inward at night. Your mind scans your own past behavior the way it once scanned other people, not to punish you, but to prevent future emotional loss. This is why nighttime overthinking often sounds like rehearsal. What you should have said, what you might say tomorrow, how to explain yourself better, how to avoid misunderstanding next time. Your mind is not stuck. It is practicing emotional survival. But there is a cost, because the future your mind prepares for at night is rarely neutral. It prepares for disappointment, for rejection, for regret. The fourth reason your mind becomes louder at night is biological. but not in the way people usually explain it. When your body begins slowing down, your cognitive control loosens. The mental filters that help you redirect attention during the day grow weaker. Your mind becomes more associative, more symbolic, more emotionally connected. This is the same reason dreams become vivid when the body rests. Your brain does not power down, it reorganizes. And during reorganization, emotionally charged memories surface first. Not because they are negative, but because emotional memory carries higher survival priority. This is why one small awkward moment can suddenly feel bigger at 1:30 a.m. than it did at 1:30 p.m. The mind is not exaggerating, it is recoding experience. And then there is a fifth reason, one people almost never talk about. At night, you are alone with your identity. During the day, you play roles: worker, student, parent, helper, listener, responsible one. At night, roles fall away, and what remains is a quieter, more vulnerable question. Was I enough today? Overthinking is often not about events. It is about self-evaluation, about whether you belong in your own life, about whether you are doing life correctly, about whether the version of you that people saw today was acceptable. This is why nighttime overthinking often drifts into self-judgment. Not loud criticism, subtle doubt, a quiet review of your worth. Before we go any further, there is something important to notice. You are not thinking too much. You are thinking without emotional context. Your mind is replaying scenes, but your nervous system is still holding the emotion attached to them. So the thoughts feel endless, not because they are complicated, but because they are unfinished emotionally. This is the moment most people misunderstand themselves. They believe the solution is to stop thinking, but the mind is not trying to think, it is trying to resolve. And resolution is not logical, it is emotional integration. Overthinking is often what emotional processing looks like when it has no language. Something else quietly happens over time in people who overthink at night. Their identity slowly shifts. They begin to believe they are mentally restless people, over-analytical people, broken sleepers. But that is not who you are. You are emotionally attentive. You notice meaning. You notice nuance. You notice what others miss. Your mind does not struggle with silence. It struggles with unresolved emotional data. This changes how you see your own mind, not as a problem to fix, but as a system trying to protect coherence. There's a quiet metaphor that explains nighttime overthinking better than any technical explanation. Your mind is like a house that stays locked all day while guests walk through quickly. At night, the doors finally close, and the cleaner comes out. Not gently, but thoroughly. Every corner, every forgotten cup, every emotional footprint, the cleaner does not judge the mess. It simply restores order. But because it works in silence, you hear every movement, every shift, every drag of a chair across the floor of memory. It feels intrusive, but it is maintenance. And finally, there's one soft truth that matters more than all the psychological explanations. You do not overthink at night because you are weak. You overthink because your mind trusts the quiet. It believes this is the only time it can speak without interrupting your survival. It believes this is when you are safest to feel. This does not mean your thoughts are always accurate, but it does mean they are meaningful. Not all overthinking is wisdom, but almost all of it is information. Information about what mattered to you today, what touched you, what unsettled you, what stayed with you longer than you realized. When you begin to understand your nighttime mind this way, something subtle changes. You stop fighting your thoughts as enemies, and you stop believing that silence means something is wrong with you. Your mind is not trying to keep you awake. It is trying to bring unfinished parts of you back into awareness. Not to fix you, not to improve you, but to keep you whole. So if tonight your thoughts return again, if your mind wanders through moments you thought you were already done with, if your chest feels heavier in the quiet than it did in the noise, let yourself understand this gently. Your mind is not broken. It is listening to what you were too busy to hear, and that doesn't make you fragile. It makes you deeply human.